Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to look at the subreddit r/entitledparents, where people tell us their stories of crazy mums and dads who think they're entitled just because they have kids. If you're new around here, please do hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video. But for now, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy some Reddit stories. Entitled parent gets frustrated no one is paying attention to her kid's Nintendo Switch. So I was on a train going to London for a holiday, and I was in a very cramped carriage. Entitled mother and kid get on and sit across from me. Kid pulls out a Nintendo Switch and starts playing. Nothing out of the ordinary, as it was a long journey and many people had laptops and the sort. The issues start when kid starts slowly turning up the game. Pokemon, so the noises were squeaky and annoying. He keeps turning it up slightly. Entitled mother is looking at people with a sort of angry look. She looks at me and I look at her confused, and she nods in the direction of K. I just nod and continue looking out the window. Entitled mother starts fake coughing and clearing her throat. Whenever someone looked at her, she nodded towards her kid. So I'm sat here really confused about the entitled mother's intentions when the kid turns up the Switch to full and starts blaring Pokemon. Everyone turns around to look at him and entitled mother looks happy. Then the ticket dude comes over and politely asks the kid to turn it down. The kid agrees and turns it down and continues playing. Entitled mother looks furious but doesn't say anything. 5 peaceful minutes pass until the kid leans over and asks if I want to play Mario Kart with him. I politely decline and kid doesn't make a fuss. However, entitled mother glares at me and says, "Excuse me? Pardon? Why won't you play with my son?" "I'm sorry, I just don't want to, and I'm getting off soon." "Well, you should. My son has done well in school, and I have bought him that Nintendo as a reward. He should get the attention he deserves." I just laugh and continue staring out of the window. Entitled mother gets up, yanks one of the controllers from the kid, and practically throws it at me. "Excuse me, what the hell are you doing? That Nintendo was very expensive, and you should acknowledge that and play with him as he deserves it." I hand the controller back to the kid. "I don't care. I don't want to play with your son. Leave me alone." Entitled mother starts fake laughing really loud. "Ha ha ha, you're just jealous and poor. Who else will play with my son?" She looks around the train at random people who all just avoid eye contact. "Ha ha ha, you are all poor and can't afford it. That's it. None of you care about your children enough." She looks triumphant and sits back down. She starts saying stuff like, "Ooh, what game is that? It looks very fun and cool," and describing features of the Switch very loud and keeps mentioning how expensive it is, and only parents like her can afford it. Then, this absolute legend of a guy sat across from entitled kid and entitled mother reaches into his bag and pulls out a Switch, which was a weird special edition one. "Wow, your son's Switch is very cool, but mine is more expensive and better." He was obviously joking, but entitled mother didn't get it. "Seems as though you can't afford mine and you aren't a good parent." Entitled mother looks gobsmacked, but the kid looks really excited and asks entitled mother if he can play with the guy. No, you can't. We're getting off now." Entitled mother and kid get up and move to the next carriage. Guy looks very happy with himself, and he just puts the Switch away. Thankfully, the rest of the journey was fine. So basically, she just admitted she's an awful parent, so she had to buy a Switch to make her seem good. Entitled mother nearly kills my brother because I wouldn't give her daughter my backpack. This happened a couple years back, and yet it still haunts me to this day. As with any story, there's an entitled mother and her entitled child, about 10 if I had to guess, who so happened to be a huge weeb. My little brother was 9, which would make me around 13. More characters will appear as they become relevant. Anyways, it was a crisp December morning. I got out of the car with my little brother and decided to wait with him for the bus, seeing as some of his friends were genuinely cool people. We were discussing Minecraft and how it could possibly have a revival. The kids doubted it, but they were wrong. When entitled child spotted my backpack and ran over. I was wearing my new Tokyo Ghoul backpack because my mum was taking me to Starbucks to eat together before I left for school, as I wanted to spend more time with her. The conversation is fairly hazy, seeing as it did happen a couple years ago, but I'll do my best to summarize it. Hey, cool backpack, I love that anime. I was slightly confused because Tokyo Ghoul targeted a more mature demographic and this girl seemed way too young to handle it. Thanks. I just got it in the mail a couple days ago. Can I see it? Ooh, it's got so many pockets. She reached over to unbuckle the front pouch so she could see inside, but I pulled it away from her. It was both a shoulder bag and a backpack. Sorry, I don't like people touching my things without permission. Entitled child nodded and ran off towards a land whale, presumably her mother. She said a few words to her, but I mostly ignored them until I swore I could feel the ground trembling beneath my feet as the entitled mother approached me. Why won't you let my sweet pumpkin touch your backpack? She's a huge fan of that show. I should get going now. I started backing away towards the car, but entitled mother grabbed my bag and tried to rip it off my arm, dislocating my shoulder as I later learned. It was pure hell to say the least. My whole arm was screaming in agony. My brother noticed this and ran at the entitled mother, kicking her in the shin. Leave my sister alone. Entitled mother proceeded to throw my brother into the ground, right as the bus turned the corner and drove towards him. The bus screeched to a halt just a few inches from where my brother was lying dazed on the pavement. I was still in immense pain, screaming for help as the bus driver noticed the commotion and ran over. My mom, who had watched the fight, leaped out of the car with her sheathed machete. Yes, she keeps it in there just in case, and charges at the land whale, screeching in a battle cry. What in the blazes happened over here? Why is there a child in the middle of the road? Well, you see, this brat stole my daughter's backpack, and... She was cut off by my mum side-tackling her and pinning all of her blubber to the pavement. My mum started screaming at her. If I see you near my children again, I'll make sure you're never seen again. Help! This psychotic woman is assaulting me for trying to get my daughter's backpack. The entitled child proceeded to rip the bag off my arm, further dislocating my shoulder, and ran towards the bus. She didn't make it far before the bus driver grabbed her by the arm and twisted it so she dropped the bag. Mummy, this mean old man won't let me have the backpack. A few minutes later, the cops and an ambulance pulled up. My mother was taken in for questioning, but only stayed in the prison a couple of days before being released. The entitled mother was charged with assault and attempted murder and is currently serving a 10-year sentence in prison. She has 8 to go, woohoo! Entitled child was sent to live with her dad, and my brother always said that whenever she saw him at the bus stop, she'd always give him a stare and blamed him for her mother being arrested. As for me, I spent a few days in the hospital next to my brother, who apparently had received a minor concussion when his head hit the pavement. Basically, my brother nearly died because I was wearing a Tokyo Ghoul backpack. I stopped wearing it to school after that incident. After all, you can never be too safe. Have you guys noticed a pattern in these crazy stories, like all the ones where people get prison sentences, and the really crazy ones, they're always over something really stupid like a backpack? Why don't you just buy one? Entitled mother tells me to get out of my barn. So I have a barn and there's plenty of space, so some people board their horses at my barn. Anyway, I was out there one day with my horse and wanted to ride in the indoor area because it was super hot out and the dusty outdoor arena didn't sound very pleasant at the time. Besides, there were already some people riding outside. I went in the barn to tack up my horse and all was going well until I got my saddle out and was cinching it up. One of the boarders approached me. The cast, me, go figure, EPM, entitled pet mum, and NB, nice boarder. Can you please take your horse outside? My horse is relaxing right now and he doesn't like other horses. What do you mean? I look up and see her horse is loose in the arena, rolling around in the dirt and whatnot. Honestly, just being a horse. Well, I rode him earlier and he needs to relax. Ma'am, on the rule board it says horses can't be loose in the barn when there's other riders in the area. There's a round pen for that. We usually use the round pen for warming up horses or training foals, but it's way too small to ride in, which is why we let people let their horses loose in there. But it's so hot outside, and my poor baby can't handle that. Besides, everyone else is riding outside. Well, I don't allow horses to be loose in the indoor arena, so I would like you to either put your horse away or move it to the round pen. I don't make exceptions. Absolutely not! It is 90 degrees outside and my baby can't handle that. Miss, it's just as hot in here as it is out there in the shade. Please move your horse. I would like to ride my horse in my barn that I own. Why can't you ride outside? Me, in the same whiny tone as her. It's 90 degrees out. My poor baby can't handle that. It's my barn and I would like to ride here while following the rules. So if you don't move your horse, I'm going to have to do it for you. I honestly don't know what set her off, but she got all flustered and started ripping the tack off my horse. I pay to ride here, I can do what I want with my baby. Me getting pretty frustrated at this point. Ma'am, please don't do that. This tack is expensive. Not unless you let my horse relax in here where it's cool. I love horses as much as anybody, but it's just a horse and they don't care if they're inside or outside. Now please move your horse. No, it's too hot out there. It's abuse. It's abuse. It's too hot. You have to take your horse outside now. I pay to be here and I can do what I want. At this point, I'm really angry. So I retack my horse and tie her up out front, grab a halter and go in to take her horse out of the barn. She was super mad and tried to hit me, but there were other people in there who had just finished riding. Help! This lady is taking my horse. The nice boarder chimes in. She owns the place. She's not taking your horse. I could hear your banter from outside. They held her back while I moved her horse to its stall. I handed her a new rules pamphlet and told her that I expected her to have found a new barn by the end of the month. I honestly don't care I lost a client, as she was a witch and I don't want that environment at my barn. Right, so let me get this straight. This person said it was abusive to take her horse outside because, oh, it's her baby and she doesn't want to abuse it. And then at the same time she said, go take your horse outside. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.